Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks. With an update video, we'll have a bit of a chat about some of the main stories that have caught my attention this week in the press in Spain. And we'll also go into the news today and take a look at what the international press is saying about Spain. Now, as you can see, it is a fine day here where I am on the outskirts of Madrid. The weather has been quite good lately, especially considering how bad it was over that Easter week. Lots of rain falling around the country, which is good news because the dams are fuller than they were a couple of weeks ago, which is important as we know. But today, around 23, 24 degrees Celsius, the temperature will get up to. Now, straight into the news and the big story that has been dominating the press in Spain over the last week or so. In fact, it's a story that's been dominating the press for a while now, and that is the story of the Spanish Football Federation, the Royal Spanish Football Federation, and some of its leaders who have gone down the path of corruption, allegedly. Of course, we're talking about Luis Rubiales, perhaps Spain's most famous bald man. The kiss that he planted on the lips without somebody's permission last year got him into hot water, and of course now Spain's civil guard is after him in a big way because of financial irregularities in this football federation, and apparently it's been going on for a long time. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the Spanish Football Federation is the only alleged corrupt sporting body in the world. Take a look at English cricket, for example, take a look at Australian cricket, and take a look at Indian cricket and the way that those bodies manage the sport, and you'll probably find corruption there as well. But hey, when it comes to this sporting body here in Spain, the corruption allegations seem to have hit new heights. Lots of money is said to have been diverted into private companies for construction works, and of course the leaders of this organization, Mr. Rubiales and company, are said to be behind this scheme and are getting illegal commissions allegedly from this money going into the hands of private companies. That's what the police are alleging. And just when you thought that it couldn't get any worse for football here in Spain, it has been hit by another racism scandal. That's right, another racism scandal. Some people in the crowds at football stadiums have again been racially abusing football players, South American football players, African football players. Basically anybody that doesn't look like the typical Spaniard gets abused racially, it seems, in these football stadiums. And of course the Spanish press is again asking the question, are we racist here in Spain? Now, I don't have a lot of experience going to football games, but the games that I have been to, I have witnessed racism on a couple of occasions. For example, around 20 years ago, I saw somebody throw a banana at a black goalkeeper, which obviously was racist. I have seen football crowds chanting monkey noises, also directed at black football players. Again, this was around 10-15 years ago, but it still happens. And for whatever reason, they can't seem to stamp it out. Now, does this extrapolate into the rest of society? Well, the obvious answer there would be yes. In some parts of society, racism here in Spain is a problem, especially casual racism. And I'm going to say that a lot of people here just don't get it when they throw these adjectives around. So football in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons this week here in Spain, racism and also alleged corruption. So let's hope they clean these things up. But again, as always, I'm not going to hold my breath waiting for this to happen anytime soon. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it has been raining quite a lot here in Spain, especially over that Easter period. Very heavy rainfall in many parts of the country. Andalusia fortunately copped a fair bit of rain, but I don't think it's enough to ease the problems down there as far as the drought is concerned. And I know that the government of Andalusia is still saying that there will be restrictions when it comes to water usage in some parts of that autonomous community, especially in Malaga, because although it rained quite a lot, it wasn't enough to alleviate the drought conditions down there. So there will be restrictions this summer as far as pool usage is concerned, private pool usage, I don't think people will be allowed to fill up their pools in some parts of Malaga, and perhaps water restrictions when it comes to having water cut off between certain hours of the night. I think those restrictions will still be in place. The good news for Andalusia as far as water is concerned is that they no longer are looking outside of Spain for water. There were plans to bring water in by boat from Portugal, I think they were talking about, but apparently they have scrapped those plans. But as I said, the water that fell last week around the country still not enough to alleviate the drought situation in some parts of the country, Malaga, Catalonia, for example. Now, let's go into the international press and see what it's talking about today with regard to Spain. We can see an article here from Euronews.com. Spain on track for hottest first quarter on record. Have heavy rains helped with severe drought? Basically what I have just spoken about, but as we can see, Spain on record for the hottest first quarter on record, because as we know, it has been a warm winter. Another story which has caught my attention here, a cruise ship carrying 1,500 passengers stuck in Spain after document row. I saw this earlier in the week. Apparently a cruise ship came into Barcelona, I think it was, yes, Barcelona, and there were some 50 or 60 people from Bolivia on that cruise ship that didn't have visas to enter Spain. And of course, what the authorities did was keep all of the passengers on board until this problem is sorted out. And I don't think it has been sorted out yet. As we can read here, a cruise ship reportedly carrying 1,500 passengers was left stuck in the Spanish northeastern port of Barcelona due to the visa problems of a group of Bolivians who were due to disembark, officials said on Wednesday. Authorities say 69 Bolivians are not being allowed to leave the ship because they lack the valid documents to enter the European Union's border-free Schengen area. Now, not sure what's going on here, but I imagine the people on that cruise ship, the Bolivians in question, some of them might have been planning to stay in Spain a little bit longer than planned. I don't know, but I'm just putting it out there. That could be the case, because fairly strange that you hop on a cruise ship knowing that it's going to arrive in Spain and you don't have the necessary documentation to clear customs. But hey, I don't know the full story. Now we'll go into the British press and see if there is any sensationalist news about Spain today, and straight away I find 3 or 4 articles warning people about coming to Spain. This one here in the Mirror, we'll take a look at that one here. And the headline, Spain holiday warning as Brits told they will need 2 documents to enter the country. The UK Foreign Office has issued a warning to British holidaymakers travelling to Spain this summer, advising them to bring 2 additional documents to the airport. So let me think, what are you going to need apart from your passport? Let's read on and find out. UK holidaymakers planning a trip to Spain this summer are being told they'll need more than just their luggage and passports. The UK Foreign Office has said that tourists will need additional documents when visiting Spain. Since Brexit, the rules for Brits travelling to countries in the Schengen area have changed. Now those coming from outside the zone, including the UK, may face extra checks at the border. Apart from passports, UK travellers are being told to bring 2 more documents with them on the plane, ready to show at border control. This includes a valid return or onward ticket, such as the return leg of a plane ticket. Travellers might also need to show proof of where they're staying, like a hotel booking receipt or an address if they're visiting a second home or friends or family. They can show a paper copy of their booking or an email on their phone. So there we go, British people being warned that they need to travel with more than just their passport and their luggage. They need to have a return ticket or an outward ticket, and they may also need this invitation letter if they're staying at a friend's home here in Spain, something that is known as the Carta de Invitación. And yes, it is a document that people may need when coming to Spain and staying with friends and family. If you're staying in a hotel, you don't need this document, but if you are planning to stay with friends or family, as I said, you may need this Carta de Invitación, so keep that in mind. And what is this invitation letter? Well, basically, it's an official document document that you have to get from the police here in Spain, the national police, because the national police control borders, and basically it's all the details that they need of the people that are going to be staying with you. Now, all of the people that I know that live in Spain and have had foreign visitors stay with them, nobody has ever worried about this carta de invitación, or at least nobody's ever mentioned it to me, so I don't really know too much about it, but it is an official document, so if you are planning to come to Spain, you might have to look into this. That would be my recommendation, but as I said, of all of the people that I know, foreign people, locals that have had people come from the States, people that have come from the UK, people that have come from Australia, nobody has ever worried about this carta de invitación. But as we saw, it is an official document and it may be required. So keep that in mind, as I said. And the final piece of sensationalist news that we'll look at today, and this is something that was brought to my attention during the week by a viewer who sent me an email link. Thank you very much for that. And it's about a possible boycott from British people of the Canary Islands, the island of Tenerife to be exact. And of course, GB News has picked up on this. Let's have a look at the headline. Won't go where I'm not wanted. Britons boycott Tenerife over anti-tourist feeling in Spain. Will leave and watch their economy collapse. So big threats from the Brits. Will leave and watch the Spanish economy collapse. What a load of crap. Believe me, the Spanish economy as a whole will not collapse if a few people decide to boycott the country. Take my word for it. Let's continue reading. Some Britons said that they will be ditching Tenerife in favour of Greece and Portugal. Tenerife, Canary Islands, is a beautiful sunny paradise and a popular choice for Britons wanting to get away from the UK. However, some anti-tourist feelings on the island have left some Britons feeling disgruntled and boycotting the destination. Tourists were recently told to get out of Tenerife by some locals who argued that they are noisy, causing pollution by littering, and have driven up the cost of rent for residents. Holidaymakers have been met with signs reading "Tourists go home" and "Too many giddies," meaning uncouth foreign tourists. Now, I'll just pick up GB News on something here. The word giddy here in Spain is not only used for uncouth foreign tourists, it is used for any foreign tourist that comes from a European destination, or basically people that look like me. We are giddies here in Spain. Not necessarily uncouth, but giddies nonetheless. But some British holidaymakers have bitten back, claiming that tourism is what keeps the economy afloat in Tenerife. One person told GB News they want to stop the very thing that keeps their economy going. Another suggested simple, just don't go. Plenty of other sunny places to go and spend money. See how long the moaning goes on when no money comes into the area. So the typical threats from disgruntled tourists: will take our money elsewhere. And I've seen that in the comment section on this channel perhaps 1,000 times. I'm going to boycott Spain, I'm going to go somewhere else, they don't want my money, I will go to Greece or Portugal instead. As I said the other day, good riddance. Because what I will say, in some tourist hotspots here in Spain, for example Benidorm and some parts of the Canary Islands, in the south of Gran Canaria and also in the south of Tenerife, there is an uncouth tourist element. They go to bars, they get drunk, they forget their manners, and that is the type of tourist that this country doesn't want anymore. And I imagine that no country in the world wants to put up with that type of tourist. So if you are that type of tourist that goes to a place like the south of Tenerife and you spend every night of your holidays getting drunk and running amok and disrespecting the locals, stay away. Nobody wants you. But if you are a tourist that comes to Spain, respects the local traditions, treats people well, doesn't get out of control, bienvenidos. Welcome. On that note, I'm going to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the situation out as you normally do. If you have anything to add to the conversation today, please, the comment section is the place for you. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego from sunny Spain.